with Beard! Hey, podcast kittens, it's Cathy Cat and...
Oh, Ladybeard coming at you with another nail-clipping installment of Cat with Beard! We're back again with the toxic spider, Thekla. What's going on, my friend?
Me, everybody's favorite spider, the toxic spider, Thekla.
The most dangerous spider in the most dangerous band in the most dangerous studio in the world.
Very dangerous.
I don't know if that made the microphone...
Nah,
Let him express himself.
Okay,
thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, hell yeah. If you didn't listen into our last episode with the amazing Thekla, you must go back and listen to it now. I was going to say again, but you've only have listened to it once, so listen to it first. And now we're going to continue where we left off. Thekla!
So, you have touched down in Japan and you're like, I want to be here. You got an agency. What happens?
You're an ice ribbon.
Ice ribbon.
I'm an ice ribbon, yes.
You're training
And
hard.
it's 2020.
You're training hard. The dojo's sweaty.
It's 2020. We all
2020.
know. Do we all remember what that meant?
Oh, I remember
that
what it
makes
meant.
Panini. The pandemic panini.
That's right.
Hey, hindsight is 2020.
We all have to eat it.
So I was gonna go back to Austria. I was still training at the dojo, and then all of a sudden, everything went to lockdown mode back at home. Over here too, it was crazy, and I was like, what should I do? I packed all my bags. And because I was supposed to go home, and they were all like, Austrian embassy was like, everybody, like all Austrians go home now. There's not going to be any flights, you know, you have to go now. So it was only like 3 days before I was supposed to go home. So but I didn't know what to do because I felt like there's something up with this situation. It's just very like maybe there might be something. So I went to the airport first without my stuff, and I just talked to everybody. I talked to the flight attendants, you know, like I called my mother. She was like, you coming home right now? What you crazy person. I talked to my best friend and she said, maybe you should stay.
Really?
And I talked to strangers, and I don't know, maybe it was like a Canadian guy. I was like, I don't know, man, sounds pretty cool to me. Maybe you should stay. And he did not have that accent. I don't know what that accent
Fine,
is.
man. It's all good.
I'll
It's all
take
good.
that accent
We'll go
for
with it.
now.
This is Canadian redneck, yeah. But I was there for like 4 hours contemplating, like, what should I do? Should I stay?
At
Maybe
the airport.
At the airport.
With your suitcases.
Without my suitcases. I had prepared everything so I could go home and then
Pick it up
and then pick it
and
up
dash.
and
Yeah,
exactly, because the next day would have been the last day.
The last opportunity.
Last opportunity to go back home. After that, they canceled all the flights.
Just quickly, what visa were you on?
I was...
Not sure if that's a question.
But no, because if it's a sports visa, you're allowed to stay. But if it's just a tourist visa, you don't necessarily have the option.
I think we should cut that
Leave it
part out.
No problem. Sorry. Keep going. Okay. No, as you were.
Yeah.
As you were.
So you are at the airport and you're about to leave.
Yeah. And I was sitting there, I was thinking about what I want to do, and I thought maybe this is quite a chance. So I went back to the dojo, I asked Ice Ribbon if I could stay, and they were like, yeah, sure, you just stay.
You're living at the dojo, yeah?
That's right, yeah. So the thing was, I just really liked my life as a pro wrestler in Japan, and I thought, well, lockdown, yeah, it seemed very bad back at home, you know what I mean? And Japan was like, I was wanting to live in Japan anyways, you know, at some point. I was very interested in culture, not only wrestling, but also I love Japanese culture, like traditional culture, but also movies and anime and whatnot, rakugo. I just saw that, but I just want to throw that in because I was so amazed that you had Katsura Sunshine on it.
Rakugo episode.
Yes.
In case you
Yes.
guys haven't seen it yet, it is
Yes.
on our Cat with Beard from Japan podcast. He's famous.
Because I am friends with one of his senpais,
Ah.
and I just saw him yesterday. He had a rakugo show in Koenji, and we just saw that. So when I went through Twitter today, I was like, you had Katsura Sunshine on. That's so
Yes, we
interesting.
did.
So check that
Awesome.
episode out. I'm gonna check it out.
Check it out.
So anyway, that's why I thought maybe this is a chance. It's Corona, but I'm just gonna stay here. So after that, I was just dedicating all my time to training. I was training like 20 to 30 hours a week. You know,
Good.
yeah, hitting the ring and kintore,
Yeah, the gym.
the gym. And
So around you is like sirens and pandemic and everything, and
Well,
you're like
or-
hitting it
yeah.
in the gym.
Or
You're
is
like,
it
woo.
sirens, or is it more everyone go home and stay there, so it's just around you is silence?
If you were in Tokyo, there were sirens everywhere, right? There's constantly people being carried around by the ambulance everywhere.
Oh, okay. That
oh,
kind
that
of
sort of
siren,
stuff.
That kind of siren.
I didn't even. I don't know. I didn't even leave the dojo for like 6 weeks
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
time. I
Wow.
was just I mean, it was quite wild to experience that. But then again, everybody had a weird like
It was a
experience.
weird
you know,
time,
it's a
yeah.
weird time. Yeah.
Were there other?
No, I was
kids
the
in
only one.
You're the only one
So,
in the
so
dojo?
that I was the only one.
So you had a gym to yourself.
That's right.
How'd you get food?
How did I get food? I mean, there was a little bit like chanko whatsoever,
Really?
you know.
Chanko-nabe?
Chanko nabe.
Okay.
We would make that or
Okay.
something. Sometimes, of course, I would maybe like run to the supermarket,
Okay,
but
I
I
see.
never left. Like I never went
and
in
did
any.
anything.
Yeah,
I see.
So you were in Japan, but also kind of not.
that's right. Yeah, I was at a house. You know, I was at the
Yeah.
dojo. I didn't. So that was wild. But as I said, everybody had. You know, it was. That was just
I
my
see.
experience, and it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it a lot. It was very. I was
Unique, maybe.
unique, and I was by myself, but it was also interesting because I had so much time to reflect on everything.
Yes.
You know.
Where were all the other girls practicing during that time? Were they not allowed to
At
leave
home. At home.
Oh, they had to lock down, but you were in the dojo, so
there
you
was.
didn't have
Don't
to.
you remember in Japan there wasn't really lockdown? You know.
Right, good point.
Yeah. There was like you have to be careful, but you could still do stuff. You know, that was another thing that I was like, maybe the Japanese are gonna be more like
Anal about it?
yeah. Or the opposite. Maybe they're gonna be able to have like a
More
system
relaxed.
where
that
more
works better.
relaxed. You know. Also, we weren't many people training at that time. Maybe there was 2 or 3 people, which was great for me because I had way more attention, way more space to myself. So it was really just perfect. And we were training with masks. And dude,
Oh,
imagine
okay.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, we were like running the ropes and you know.
Oh,
it's
like as in the surgical mask.
as in yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like lucha masks.
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
Oh,
Like
that's
you know, like
ridiculous.
we were having like 2 or 3 hour training sessions, like
Oh.
extreme, you know, with like, wearing the masks.
Just quickly, anyone who works out and had to do the mask to
Oh,
work out
yeah.
during COVID, so ridiculous. 'Cause the whole thing gets covered in sweat.
Yeah.
And like you'd get this little puddle of sweat in the bottom of the mask. it's
Oh,
all
yeah.
stuck to your face, and then it's moving around. Oh, it's horrible.
Moving
Right?
around
It's
everywhere.
ridiculous.
So, you said 6 months of training. Oh, how many months of training? How many months did you do that before then something happened? So it's the pandemic,
was-
Panini.
yes,
You're
I was
practicing by
here-
yourself. What happens
yes.
next?
I was just starting to. I decided this is good for me. I'm gonna stay here in Japan. I got more opportunities. I kind of became a good, better wrestler because I had so much time to focus and train. You know, I wasn't doing anything else. You know what I mean? And then I kind of made a name for myself in the scene. I was here. Then I went back once and came straight back as soon as I could. And all of a sudden I was here for 2 years, and then 1.5 years ago, I was like, okay, it's time for me to take the next step, kind of a situation. And then I prepared myself for the promotion that I'm working for right now,
Okay, the promotion. Tell us.
called Stardom.
How do you spell that?
Yes, stardom, like stardom,
Like star.
like
Like
stardom,
stardom.
stardom,
Dumb.
kingdom, and
Dumb.
stardom.
Silly. Yes, Stardom. So in 2000, what was last year?
2022?
Yeah,
22?
2022. In January, I did my debut for Stardom, and since then I've been working for the company.
You decided to go to stardom, and
Yes.
now bam, you're at stardom. What changes?
What changes? Just I had my debut match, and they were broadcasting it on YouTube. So all of a sudden, there was like 22,000 people watching me
Great.
do my stuff live in the main event. You know,
Great.
I did a move that I had been doing for a long time. It's like the toxic spider thing. You know, somebody exactly right. So somebody is trying to hit me like with an elbow or with a clothesline. It's like it swings at me, and to get out of the way, I duck it, and I go into a bridge, right? And then I quickly turn around, and as my opponent is like, what just happened? You know, surprised. I come running at them and then just spear them in the midsection. So that's kind of my thing, you know. And that video kind of went a little viral on the internet, and then it went viral in Austria. And then I was approached by tons of media. It's like, oh, it was on Austrian TV. Everybody was talking about that because it's like such a special, like nobody has seen it before kind of move. And that got me a lot of attention. And then, of course, Twitter explodes, and then Instagram, and then all the stardom and the fame, you know. It's like,
Hey. What up, celebrity life? Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
That's right.
Hollywood Hills.
Yeah. So and then now I'm doing that. Yeah. So nothing.
Cool,
since
man.
then, nothing's really changed. I'm working for Stardom. I became the champion for some point. Tomorrow I have another title match. So
You got a title match tomorrow. Tell us
Right.
about who you're gonna lay waste to tomorrow.
All of them.
All of them?
All of them.
Okay.
Right.
That's right.
Well, you're doing a rumble?
all
What's
of
happening?
them.
Is it a rumble?
No, it's a trios match. So it's 3 versus 3. So it's for the Artist of Stardom tag titles. So yeah, that's gonna go down at Otaku tomorrow.
Otaku.
Yes.
Have a good match. By the
Tomorrow.
time you listen to
Thank you
this,
so
I
much.
imagine it won't be tomorrow anymore.
Probably
It'll
not.
be
Yeah.
a while ago.
One
but-
thing I looked at the Stardom page, and it seems like you are busy. Like you guys
Oh,
are constantly
man.
out somewhere beating each other up.
Yes, they keep us.
Keep working hard.
That's our job. Yeah. We've got like 11 or 12 matches every month. It's quite
a lot of
lot.
matches.
Every
It's
month that
quite a
doesn't give
lot,
much
yeah.
downtime.
And are you
No.
living at the Stardom Dojo?
No. I've got my own place.
Oh, okay,
now.
cool.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So you go pretty much every week. If it's 12 matches, that's like how much every week? Sorry, I'm back with maths.
It's like 2 or 3.
A week.
2 or 3 a week.
Wow,
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, everybody,
And then
if
you
you're
still have to
wrestling.
work out as well.
You still have to work out. We still have the photo shoots. We have the press conferences. So there's
lot of work.
it's a lot of work, but it's all good. I mean, you know. Get
So
paid
for
for that.
those unacquainted with wrestling a lot, when you hit the mat, we call that bumping, when you fall over
That's
in
right.
wrestling, right? So a lot of bumps, what happens is if you bump a lot, the muscles in your back tighten up to kind of protect you, right? So one of the hardest things if you have to wrestle a lot is your back gets progressively tighter, so it gets harder and harder to kind of move your head and kind of move your neck and shoulders and so forth. right?
Don't remind me of that stuff. All the.
But you look very
perks
mobile
of being-
at the moment, you see.
At the moment,
this
yeah,
Is, this is
at
one
the
of the things
moment.
that leads to wrestlers having to retire because they get to the point where they can't properly
muscles.
move
Yeah.
anymore because they're so seized up, you know?
Yeah. You can usually see a wrestler from far away. They're just like
the way they're walking. I thought
The
it
way
was just
they
the
walk.
muscles.
No, it's the way they walk. They can't bend the knees anymore.
Yeah,
It's like,
they're in a lot of pain, and also the muscles, of course, and also
Okay.
But the point I'm making is that's a lot of matches.
Yes.
So that's hard work, friends and relatives at home.
Now, I can now talk a little bit better about it than on prior episodes of the show because I watched the show. And what absolutely amazed me was it was a show. Like, it was music and spotlights and just so many people performing or like wrestling or punching each other. And there seem to be so many types of girls there as well. Like, some come in like really cute outfits and do like a little dance, like almost idol-like.
Almost like idols, yeah.
And some just come in like, oh, I'm gonna
Badasses, yeah.
Yeah, kick some peach for real. Some people come in with like a weapon right from the start, and you're like, whoa, God.
Couple
So-
with a fork.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things.
remember
there,
my
so-
fork days.
Oh my God.
The fork in the road of my career.
I was trying.
Oi,
to
oi, oi.
spot
Oh, boy.
Tables? What is
Yeah.
like the weirdest weapon you've ever used apart from the fork?
I was in a how do you call it? It's like an electric bat
Awesome.
death match.
Awesome.
Denryu bakuha. How do you?
Awesome.
Yeah. So you get. It was
Exploding bat.
yeah, exploding bat. So you get there is a bat in the ring, you know. There's and you've got 2 ring posts, and there is like a button on each side, you know. And you have there's also a bat, and there's like barbed wire, and it's also on a it's like it explodes, you know, when you hit somebody with it. So the match goes like this. Usually it can be a singles or a tag match. Once you are able to hit the button in your corner, there's like it sounds like like an alarm basically, and then that's when you can use the bat to
the bat
hit
is
your
loaded now.
exactly. That's when you can hit your opponent, and then there's a big explosion. So I did that. I was
Awesome.
like, that was before I came to Stardom, of course. So I was approached. I was recommended at some point, some because they were looking for somebody to enter a tournament, right?
A deathmatch tournament?
Yes, yeah. And they asked me if I wanted to do it, and I was like, you know what? No. I was like, oh, no.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah.
Well, why did you decide to do it anyways?
Well, they asked me again like a week. Like I was like, I don't think this is for me. I don't need this. I don't need this in my life. You know. I mean, I had done like hardcore matches and like a death match before, and it's kind of fun. A death match.
Do you know what a death match is?
I hope you're gonna explain. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, there's different forms of wrestling matches, right? There's normal wrestling. Then there's hardcore. Is kind of the next step where you can, for example,
aggression or violence.
Yes, exactly. So you can use tables or some
blunt.
Okay. So normal is just normal.
Normal is just normal.
Normal, no weapons.
Exactly.
Hardcore is
Rules.
weapons.
Weapons, yes, and then death matches is weapons, but to like until somebody bleeds.
So
you know,
most
there's
extreme.
most extreme, like razor blades and
Razor blades.
yes,
wire.
barbed wire,
Fire.
also light
Fire.
tubes, fire,
Light
a lot of
I've
fire.
taken the light tube to the head.
I have not done
Oh
that.
my
No,
God.
yeah. So
Razor
it's
blades
very
and
it's very extreme, very extreme.
It's very extreme.
Yeah.
Lots of bleeding, Cathy Cat. I don't
Yeah.
think you'd enjoy it. Lots of bleeding.
Yeah, like a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had done one of these matches and it was very fun, I'm not gonna lie. But I was like, you know, once you start doing that, you kind of it just goes downhill. You know what I mean?
Goes
Like,
downhill.
It goes downhill like in a way that if you I didn't want to get hurt, you know. So
Like,
but
hurt,
just
like irreversibly hurt.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Well, I was wondering, like with the girls' outfits and yours as well, Ladybeard, like you have so many frilly pads that could catch on fire, or your
Yes.
hair could catch on
That's
fire.
right.
Like,
Oh,
if it's
I
like
got
a
a
big burly
hilarious
guy.
story about that.
Awesome. Tell us your fire story.
So I did one death match, and then they asked me if I wanted to do this like electric, exploding bat thing, and I was like, no. And they was like, come on, please. A week later,
Come on.
and I was like, no.
Oh.
And then 3 weeks later, they was like, think about it one more time. I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what happened, but I think I was bored. I was like, you know what? Let's just try it. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly
What could
go
possibly go
wrong? Famous last words. All
Long
right.
story short, we had the match, and it was fun because it was different, you know, and it was a different environment. It's a lot more like rough, and the fans like they want to see that violence, you know. So we were getting into it, but for some reason I was gonna hit my opponent with the bat. I had managed to hit the button right, and the bat exploded at a weird timing, you know.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, so it got her. No, it was the other way around. She tried to hit me, and then I was fine, kind of. It got me in the foot or something. It was not too bad, but it got her like she had like it was all black here, you know.
But
she
she
got
was the
burned.
one
Yeah,
who
a
was
little bit
supposed to hit.
exactly,
So it
and
exploded
then
a bit too
it
different timing.
exactly like in a spot where it could possibly be a little bit dangerous, right? And I was so surprised, and like I just fell to the ground, but I fell on the bat, and the bat was still hot too.
No.
And then she pinned me on the bat. You know,
Oh,
you've got like the
no,
barbed
no,
wire
no.
in your
Burning
back,
bat.
burning bat, and it's like 1, 2, 3. And then I was like, this is a very interesting smell that's coming from my back. I was like, water, people, water. Yeah. So my hair had caught a little bit on fire, and like I could see my shirt later. It has like a little burn, like burn marks. You know, it wasn't that bad. Like, but I was like, please put me out.
Fair enough.
So I was like, yeah, that's one great story, but I don't need to do it again.
That's definitely a memorable match
Yes,
there.
yeah. No, I don't regret doing it, but this is the sort of stuff you have to be careful with. This is,
Of course.
yeah.
I mean, it's you're going to be a professional wrestler. All this kind of thing kind of comes with the profession,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
but that the environment wasn't very professional. I'm gonna say that.
Is that
you
right?
know,
Okay, I
yeah,
see.
you know what I mean.
That was
Like,
one of the problems with a
shouldn't
lot of
have
deathmatch
fired-
stuff.
Yeah, but then
probably
I
what it
mean,
did,
I signed that you know,
Sure,
that,
sure, sure.
that
You
was
agreed
that
to
was
do
on
it.
you know I agreed to do that, so that's on me. But
Apart
I was
from the
lucky.
bat, did you bleed in that match?
no,
Okay.
no,
Was that like the most painful match you've ever had then?
no, probably not. Probably not.
What's the most painful one then? Or like memorable? Any match that...
There was this really big girl that
A larger lady.
she's a larger lady indeed, and she did
plus size.
and she did this senton. It's like it's from the top of the corner. She gets up on the corner, and then she just jumps and uses her whole body weight and lands on me when I'm lying in the ring. So I remember that was kind of.
Yeah,
it was like 100 kilos or something, you know, and it's like
painful.
just, it's like, well, it was fine. I mean, I remember that. It's like from the top of my head. But I think the other death match was also very painful. The one I did before the electric bat thing, because I was bleeding a lot in that match.
Why? What were you getting cut with? Why were you
she had also, I think she had like a kendo stick wrapped in barbed wire, and she was rubbing it on my face.
Oh my god!
I just didn't bleed, and she wouldn't stop until I started to bleed, and she was ramming it into my head, you know.
Wow.
So I was questioning a lot of things at that point. Don't get me wrong.
Saying life choices from a degree in fine arts to a
exactly.
profession in
Exactly.
fine death.
I never told my mother about this stuff,
No,
but
fair
she,
enough.
but
You
she,
shouldn't
yeah,
probably,
no, I
yeah.
shouldn't. But also, I never felt more alive.
No, is that right? Really? Is
It's
that
like
right?
once I saw that blood dripping down, I was like, yeah, baby, let's go. And that was one of the most fun matches I ever did. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah. I looked at myself in the mirror afterwards, and my eyes were completely black. You know,
Really?
like,
Black?
black, like. I don't know, like from the
blood?
adrenaline. No,
Oh,
from
from
the
the
adrenaline. It's like you
adrenaline.
go
Right,
to a
okay.
next level, you know.
Wow.
But I don't need to do that again.
Fair enough. Okay, so we're there.
I did just gonna mention that one thing I realized while watching the matches, like there's a lot of like cute girls, and I expected it that you girls were nicer to each other, but you really beat each other up.
Yeah.
Like you can hear the sound of like actually things smashing and people actually getting hurt. There is no being nice to each other just
No.
because you're girls.
The
It's
ladies'
rough.
matches are very noisy, actually. The girls scream a lot. There's a lot of, there's a lot of- much more than the men, actually, which is
That's
very
true,
interesting. Yeah. A lot of fast running, hitting the ropes and whatnot.
Because we are compensating kind of for the fact that you guys are all big and like, you know, and you're bumping and it makes a sound. So we try, you know, we go with fighting spirit. You know what I mean? And we actually kind of punch each other in the face. You know.
Do you know she's retired now, but you know Mio Shirai?
Of course, she
yeah.
was my trainer.
Oh, was she? Oh, you
Yes.
trained with Mio?
Yes, she
she's my
trained
buddy,
me.
man.
I got some moves. Like she gave me some of
Really?
her moves. I love Mio.
I
She's
love
amazing.
Mio. Yeah, I love Mio too. Mio is one of the wrestlers here. She's a very tough girl, and so my first wrestling company here, I worked with Mio as well.
Are you
But
for real?
yeah, in Union
She
Pro. You
retired
can ask her
at
about
age
it.
off?
Great.
I don't know,
Okay.
but she retired 2 or 3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
All right. So what is like
Wonderful
the
girl.
average like what? How long do like wrestlers?
Hang on a second.
Male
Let me
wrestlers,
finish my
female
story. Let me
wrestlers?
finish my story. Hang on a
okay,
second.
story.
So I just got to Japan. I can't properly speak Japanese yet, but I'm trying to, talk to everyone backstage and whatnot. And I was at a show, not wrestling. I was there. I think I was singing in the ring. And so I'm talking to one of the wrestlers about the match tomorrow. And he's like, all right, so who have you got tomorrow? And I'm like, Mio. He goes, you got Mio? He's like, Mio kicks you harder than anybody else. Mio kicks you harder than any of the men. Anyone. Yeah.
Wow.
That's true. Mio and Kondo Shuri, if you know her as well.
Of course, she's in Stardom now.
She's in
so
Stardom
I
now.
regularly get kicked by her.
Dude. I love getting kicked by Shuri. The first time I got kicked by Shuri, I put my chest up nice and big for her to kick. I'm sitting on my butt, right?
Yeah.
My chest up nice and big, and she goes, poof, it gets me in the solar plexus.
Well, she was doing stuff with UFC,
UFC,
right?
yeah, she's an
so
MMA fighter as well,
Like
that's
some
right.
some of us are legit. You
She's
know
a
what I mean? Yeah,
murderous
yes,
woman. I
murderous.
love her.
Yeah, I love my job.
You're all
Sorry,
crazy
Cathy
in
Cat.
here.
Please continue what you were
Yeah,
saying.
what do you want to know?
Your pain threshold must be out of the universe.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a certain joy that comes with, I don't know, confronting your physical limits somehow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to explain if you've never done it.
It's kind of like skydiving, confront a physical limit in a different way from that, obviously,
Yeah.
but, jumped out of a plane and didn't die, it's, you might have.
I think it's massively impressive. I'm like you're talking about people who are scared of pain. That's literally me.
Aww.
So I enjoy watching it from a safe environment, and I'm going to be going and cheering you guys on.
That's very kind.
But I would probably not stand on that stage.
We won't get Cathy Cat in the ring.
No, not everybody has to do this. No.
You don't have to do anything.
I felt a lot like what I felt when watching Stardom is like there's almost like it's an idolish aspect to it with the way it's like that girl meeting that girl. But then it's not like cute dances. It's more like them beating each other up and having like a feud and calling each other like next time it's your turn, that kind of thing. It was an out of this world experience. I'm definitely going to come and watch it again.
Yeah,
Glad
for sure. I'll get
it.
you tickets anytime.
Awesome.
What's next for Thekla? Tell us about the future of Thekla.
Well, tomorrow we've got the title match, so
Hell
that's the next thing.
Ass kicking. That's your immediate future.
Some ass kicking, always in the stars. Other than that, I'm gonna probably stay in Japan and do that thing. You know.
Okay.
I'm still dreaming about starting a band at some point here.
Awesome.
So
Maybe
my
you guys
gym,
can
yeah,
we're
maybe.
gonna have to figure it out.
Here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cathy Cat can play the drums. You want to play the drums?
I play the drums.
All right, we'll figure it out. Sounds good.
Let's do it.
How do you
ukulele.
feel? Are you the only foreigner in Stardom at the moment?
No, we've got 3 other girls who are foreigners, but they're in and out, so they don't live here.
So you're the regular foreigner.
Yeah.
So you're the only regular foreigner.
That's right.
How do you feel being the only regular foreigner in the Japanese?
I love
community?
it.
You love it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Your Japanese is fluent, yeah?
I'm getting there.
Yeah, okay,
I'm getting there. Yeah, my Japanese is good enough. I know people like I've got friends outside of the wrestling scene who are Japanese, so I don't only focus on that, and I can talk normally to the Japanese girls. You know, it's different.
When do you study Japanese? Between press interviews, exercising, training.
You know what?
matches.
That's how I learned it actually. You know, especially with the pressers and everything. You know, it's like I would. Talking about the rakugo, right? Because I mentioned that earlier. The first time I had a match with Ice Ribbon, you know, I thought I could see them. Everybody's like picking up the microphone after the matches, and somebody like says something to the audience. You know, I was like, what am I gonna do? They don't speak English. They don't understand what I'm saying. And at that point, I had this fascination with rakugo, right? And I thought, maybe I can do something with that.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
I came up with, I didn't speak Japanese at that point except for hi, konnichiwa, whatever, you know, like count a little bit. But I came up with this extremely like basic, simple rakugo story.
Oh, good.
And that I was like, I took the mic and I was performing that, you know, it was like kind of the situation, my mom asking me where I am. And I was like, I'm at the airport. I was like, what are you doing? I'm going to Japan. Why? I'm going to be a pro wrestler. And she's like, you get back home right away. What the hell are you doing? You know, it's like screaming, you know. And it became a thing because it was, my Japanese was so bad, you know, and then but they recognized that this girl is doing rakugo. What the hell is going on, you know? And they could kind of understand what my punchline was too, you know, because I was like screaming. It's like, yeah, you know, get back home. And I don't know what kind of sentence it was. And I would always end it with like, suimasen, ka-chan, you know, and people were like falling off their chairs. They was like, what is this exactly, right? So I would always do that every week. But the level, I would always raise the bar a little bit and try to memorize things that I didn't know yet, you know. But through that, I learned more vocabulary, you know, and kind of started to be less afraid of just using the language, you know.
You've done very well. If I ever tried to put new vocabulary into my ring stuff, just by the end of the match, it's all just totally gone.
Yeah, sometimes I would like write on
the wrist.
yeah. But that's how I started, you know.
And you speak a myriad of languages, yeah?
Yeah, I speak German, of course, English, Japanese, Spanish. I used to live in Spain. And a little bit of Georgian because my mother's side,
Right.
Yeah, so I've got a thing with...
Bust out some Georgian for us.
Gamarjoba, chemi sacheli aris Thekla.
Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah, that's what I do. I like language. I like communicating. So, yeah.
What would you tell someone who's thinking, I would like to, there's this girl somewhere over there, and she's like, I would like to start pro wrestling, ideally in Japan. What would your advice be?
Don't do it.
You seem to love it.
Bad plan.
Bad girl.
Plan.
Stay at home. No, I mean, yes, because I'm already here. I'm the bad bitch here.
No, fair enough.
No, do it. Yeah, if you love something and you've got the passion for it, do it. I mean, my advice is try to, of course, learn a little bit of Japanese, get in shape, come over here. Don't be afraid. Just get in touch with the company, you know, and follow your dreams like I did.
Yeah, I say work on the Japanese before you come. That's probably the biggest bit of practical advice we can give people.
You don't have to, but it's gonna be so much easier to stay here. Yeah. That's what it's about, you know. You gotta connect with the culture, and I think when you learn the language, you learn a lot about the culture, you know. So. Some toxic spider wisdom here.
How can people support you on the internet, find you on the internet, follow you on the internet?
You can, if you have Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at toxic_Thekla, TOXIC_THEKLA, and the same thing for my Twitter. And then you can find me on YouTube. The stardom stuff and Wikipedia, we got it all.
Her Instagram stories and her Instagram reels are lit. They always appear at the top of my Instagram. I turn on Instagram and it's you generally.
And it's me being mean to somebody.
Yeah. There's some really viral videos in there as well. You will definitely want to check that out. Ladybeard?
At Ladybeard_Japan at the internet. And also my group Babybeard at Babybeard_Japan on the internet. I'm coming to Singapore, July 23, that weekend. See you in Singapore.
Awesome.
Cathy Cat.
Cathy Cat _TV or _TV, as you know, name it, on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and also Japan Railway.
Journal. Oh, yes!
You got it!
Nailed
Japan
it.
Railway Journal on NHK. And obviously here on the Cat with Beard from Japan podcast. You can find us on any platform that does podcasting that is worth its podcasting bits. And also, don't forget to check out our YouTube, Cat with Beard from Japan, as well, if you want to see us all hang out. Thank you so much, Thekla, for your time. I'm so glad you could be here.
Thanks for inviting me.
I knew some stories from when we did an interview for my YouTube channel, but there's some new stories I heard this time, especially the ballerina thing that surprised me.
I thought you were going to say the bleeding.
Yeah, I was
the bleeding.
That's what I thought was the opposite extreme.
I know the hardcore stuff. I didn't know the ballerina stuff.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's about the
playing the violin. That's also interesting,
yes.
yeah?
And the violin, exactly.
I do
Now
it all.
maybe we're starting a band.
Yes.
Just saying. Wait till our single hits the charts. All right, see you soon in
We'll see you
another
next time.
episode.
Thank you.